Vaccine, right? Individually. His defenders still came out in droves.
Watching Anthony Fauci before a congressional hearing.
I don't like what he's about to say. Do you know how old Harvey Levin is?
I did not.
He's 75.
Is that
What, dude? No way.
He's in his 70s.
No. Come on.
No way. This guy's 75 years old?
You know, like that. That's okay. Dad bod. You can have dad bod at 70. That guy looks incredible.
He's making me feel terrible. This guy,
what do you have?
He lived through the Korean War. He looks like
September 2nd, 1950.
Wow. No, he's approaching 70. Yeah, he'll be 76 in just a little over a month.
Crazy.
What?
That's crazy.
That's wild, dude.
That is awesome.
He's a little small for me, but he's okay. For 76, he's okay. Guy looks unbelievable. I'll give him credit. Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, he actually knows what the Red Scare was.
Yes, he does.
Like, he was there.
He was having to dodge polio.
Pull it up. Yeah, so this is The Guardian proclaims Anthony Fauci sexiest man alive.
Yeah.
People's sexiest. Sorry, it was a Guardian
It was
article
both,
about
but the
people.
other one
Okay.
was cut off.
Gotcha, yeah.
All right.
Same.
Point is, I disagree.
You think?
Let's roll it.
Taking the Fifth Amendment is just one of the most heartbreaking things I have seen in government in my lifetime.
And that's a long life.
Anthony Fauci is 85 years old. He spent his life as a public servant. He spent his life working
wait
for
till
the
this guy
good
goes
of the
away.
public.
Put aside all the
Bathhouses.
flowery rhetoric that we hear in the United States Senate, Dr. Fauci has saved lives.
Anthony Fauci,
It cost more.
over a period of decades, has been an amazing public servant.
And Republicans, without any concern for Dr. Fauci, for his life, for his career, for his reputation, get their dopamine hits by putting him in front of Congress.
We are in a Senator Joseph McCarthy climate.
was
where,
right, if only.
See?
there is such fear
He knows.
that people have, and legitimate fear that they'll end up in prison for what they say, no matter what it is, if they are on the wrong side of somebody in Congress or the administration.
Do you mean if there's a gross abuse of their authority when they're an unelected official in the interests of big businesses against the interests of the people they're supposed to be representing? Do you mean that? Do you mean that? Yeah, then I guess everyone's on the chopping block.
Yeah, nobody's afraid of going to jail for what they said for being on the wrong. Name the person. Please just name the people that are going to jail because they, or name the people that are not coming forward. Name the people that are not talking right now, that have talked behind the scenes.
Damn it! I just realized. It's been that kind of morning. Just realized that I had no sound coming off of my thing. Can you tell I haven't been on here for a little bit? But guys, welcome. Mostly just sitting here complaining about how people are calling Anthony Fauci a hero. All the worst people on the internet, Harry Sisson, the Krasensteins, whoever that is, Morgan J. Freeman. Damn it, I hate I hate so much when something grazes the little, like basically what I use for my on and off switch for my sound on my mixer. It's got the same hair sensitivity of the Xbox One, I want to say it was, where anything can graze it. A small pet can graze it, and then it turns off your system. Well, same thing with my sound. So my apologies for the shitty 5-minute false start.
And they're just afraid they're going to go to jail because they say the wrong thing about a position that somebody has. It doesn't exist. It doesn't happen. What world are you living in?
If an entire generation of fatter, mentally unwell, dumber, less socially adept
Septum
children,
pierced.
which is what we see as a result of COVID, along with myocarditis, along with businesses that have never actually reopened, right? Economic damage that has never been repaired, if that wouldn't qualify for some kind of consequences, when they can be traced back to one individual and his abuse of authority, then I guess no one should be held accountable.
Yeah. His lies. It was not his comments. It was his lies. He recorded them on a government computer.
I hope nobody reads this later on. Wait, what? This is saved? How do I put the bleach on the hard drive? So let's go through top of things that we are thankful for, considering all of these, because it did wake people up.
And people still talk about that really bad joke that Trump made about, can we put the Lysols and the bleach in people's veins since it kills viruses? Look, one, if he thought that was serious, hilarious. Okay, hilarious. He has advisors. He's not going to recommend that we inject ourselves with any kind of bleach or vaccine. He would never have done that. I still think it was a really lame attempt at humor, like a grandpa joke, but people will still press that. Like, oh, he said he wanted to put bleach in your veins. Shut up. No one believes that. If you do, go to Canada and get involved in certain programs of theirs that I can't mention here.
COVID.
Get made. Anyway.
Do a 180 politically than COVID. So we'll go number one. Well, I guess we'll go in ascending order. Fauci can be directly thanked for showcasing the lack of self-awareness from these celebrities, but also Gal Gadot's singing talent.
Imagine there's no heaven.
I am.
This was one of the most condescending, most disconnected things that celebrities have ever done. Okay, this person, I think very highly of this person. This is a very funny person. She's one of the best comedic actors out there, as far as women go.
Easy if you try.
Here's the thing. Pause it. Gal Gadot, like, I get it because she's just some dumb broad. She's supposed to be a funny person, a comedian. Like, she knows better. She should know better than to be this self-important.
No, it's clout chasing.
Comedy in Hollywood. Let's continue.
No hell below us.
Who the fuck was that? Who was that?
You had to.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was like, remember, it was one of those things where when celebrities, when their handlers, their publicists also had to stay home.
Sarah Silverman.
Celebrities, they're just
Remember when
like
she was
you,
kind of
brought
funny?
to you by the celebrities themselves, and people are like, they're not like us at all.
No, they just need to stay in movies and shows.
What is Josh?
She
Josh
rode
Gad
Jimmy Kimmel to the
crying
middle.
because he's locked in his 8,000-foot mansion.
Gosh, these people really did need writers, didn't they?
They really did.
God, and Madonna was the worst. She was like, it's the great equalizer. It shows us that we're all truly the same, as she records herself in her bathtub in a bathroom that's bigger than most of our houses. Like, what are you talking about? We're all the same. Shut up. Shut up.
Did.
And filters and all kinds of stuff.
Brad Paisley was right. Number two. Showcasing the ingenuity, thank you, Fauci, and your leftist ilk, the ingenuity of the American public school system.
I did not know this happened.
This is in Washington State.
I live there.
Look, they're staying safe the way it should be.
First time, masks were a must for all high school.
Holy 7 athletes died.
Holy, everyone almost suffocating while they're running.
Mask on. This is what we need to do right now to do it safely.
It's not safe.
Social distancing is
No.
really important.
By using hula hoops.
This is for those of you who weren't around or weren't paying attention. That was actually happening. Yes. Where they were saying, the people who said trust the science, they're going, there's no evidence that wearing a mask when you're doing this sport affects performance, even though a huge component that's measured to determine genetic ability athletically is VO2 max, and we hooked them up to see how much oxygen uptake there is. A mask impeding your breathing. There's no science to say there are ill effects. Oh, there goes another one. The body
Is Crowder wearing makeup, or is he like getting a weird spray on tan? Sorry, it's really taking me out of it.
Stupid. That was a year after all of this. This wasn't like several months in.
It's just, And then, that brings us to number 3. Thank you, Dr. Fauci, for making sports, I guess, even more entertaining.
But there's a new way you can be part of the game. The team will put cardboard cutouts of fans behind home plate during games.
I will say one small part of this was kind of sweet. There was an old couple who had been to like every single game for decades or some shit for a certain team. I can't remember who they were. But they died, I think, just before COVID. So they put up cardboard cutouts of their likenesses. I thought that was kind of sweet. Other than that, this is delusional. Like, this is delusional. This is like someone playing in their backyard with an overactive imagination and no friends. Like, this is sad. Anyway, sorry.
Is that the Ayatollah? Oh.
They're starting with pictures of healthcare heroes.
A popular orange.
Healthcare heroes. Look, I have a great respect for people who work in healthcare, especially during COVID. A lot of people, especially when there was a lot of actual disinformation, which was most of it. I have a lot of respect for people doing that, being right there, especially in ERs and such, on the onset. On the other hand, my sister got fired for not vaxxing because fuck you, and and a lot of these people, like if someone puts a sign in your yard that says you're a hero lives here because of this or that, like you're a nurse or whatever, fine. But if you put one in your own yard, go fuck yourself. Okay, go fuck yourself. No hero calls himself a hero. Unless they're trying to make a decision and then they say something cheesy like, oh, that's what heroes do, or a hero wouldn't do this, or whatever. But no hero calls himself a hero. No hero puts their sign in a yard for going to work.
County skate park is now covered in sand. The city of
sand. There's no science that shows sand affects skateboarding.
This paddleboarder was arrested after refusing to get out of the water.
And this was a part that always was crazy to me. This person's all by himself. There is no one. What do you think? He's going to get the fish sick?
And there's no science that shows people in the stands affect baseball.
Well, paddleboarding does need to be, put to rest.
I agree.
So there's a point.
Yeah, paddleboarders are very annoying.
You look so.
Sure, people can do it.
They're like
Yeah, you look
the cyclist of the sea.
Well, you just look silly.
You look silly.
Are you angry that they're working out, Josh? What's the matter?
No, I'm angry that you think you're better than me. Oh, look at me. I'm on top of the water. I'm like Jesus. I'm walking up here.
Yeah.
Screw you, dude.
Yeah, it's like someone sat there like, hey, well, okay, what's this, a kayak? All right, yeah. Surfboard. Oh, so you guys are all trying to design like hulls to cut through water to be more aerodynamic. I wonder if I could do the opposite of that and just make it all about the fact that I have core balance to tell everyone else that they need to work out more, even though I'm going less than half a mile per hour. I want to be as slow as the old pedal boats, but I want to be as unstable as a short surfboard.
We're all going paddleboarding.
It's like, how can I maneuver this body of water the slowest way possible?
Yes. It's like someone said, the key is inefficiency.
Number 1,500.
Not unlike the way we handled COVID.
True,
Yeah. Is that how much they run for? Paddleboards?
I don't know.
I just don't get it. What part of it is enjoyable? The kid learning to doggy paddle is going faster than you.
I'm not gonna lie. I just thought it was a surfboard, and you got like a kayak paddle, and you just put the two together. I didn't know they made specific boards.
Exactly right. Number 4. You know what? Let's go back. Even more musical excellence, and we saw this with the vaccine, right? Propaganda from.
Oh my God!
And thank you, Fauci, for allowing these individuals to highlight, to showcase what we already knew to be true, but they used to have to do covertly.
There is none higher. DMC, I will inspire. Time for us to trust and not debate. The vaccine, believe it's safe to take.
I gotta say, the raps were worse than anything we ever saw after school in the 90s. But this was on another level. Notice it's all bunch of gay dudes. It's like the people doing sign language on HBO. I will say, in Jimmy Fallon's defense, he's at least somewhat talented as far as his sound-alikes and parody type things. However, I still don't like that he's on the Tonight Show. I think he would be great as a Conan follow-up, but bleh. But I will say he was the most reluctant to get into any of this, and he's the least cringe, I guess. But I still don't watch any of this shit.
Come on, blacks, take the vaccine.
Which is pretty much it. Just like, hey, look, we paid this one black guy to take it. Why don't the rest of you take it? Most black people don't take it because of reasons like the Tuskegee experiments and such. Because it was a rush job. Because they don't trust the government. Mostly Republicans, but they don't trust the government.
That's not social.
I've seen
Yeah, that's not social distancing.
Funnier than this.
Dr. Fauci, give us vaccines.
Oh, come on, guys. We can't make fun of the disabled.
I remember that was happening. I was like, come on, he's retarded. Don't let him. Don't let him do that. But then you can't put him out there. It's like they were baiting us. Like, hey, look who's going to present our new song. And they just put him out and we're like, do you notice anything off about him? No. You think that maybe he might have something unique you'd like to put in? He's retarded. He's clearly retarded. He's a retarded person. But that was a level of quality that you could expect. Remember from late night? Yeah. That's why we did 2-a-days during that period of time, because it was, boy, it was like a gulch. It was incredibly dry if you were looking for content. And it's not quite vaccine, but we did a parody of the Cranberries' Zombie in the same vein.
You know what's sad? This is for a YouTube channel. And I'm not just saying it because I like most of his content. I honestly think a lot of his song parodies are pretty cringe, but they're well done for, especially being for a YouTube channel. They're fantastic for, well, I can't even say real production anymore because a lot of people on YouTube channels are using better production values than shows. But it's pretty good, considering they just throw those together.
Remember that, man? Still gold in my hair. We were like, the next morning, I'd walk in, I go, I'd blow my nose, I go, look, it was gold.
It's all over the bathroom.
You were committed. We had to get in those little tents that those kids were playing the tuba in. Yes. We get in a tent, and they would just spray us down.
Spray tan? Hold your breath.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I was absent that day.
I know. Lucky you. And you know what? Number 5, thank you, Fauci. So many people can forget how bad it truly was. And people say, oh, they're all the same. Again, what would the left do unfettered? To me, I was very, very grateful that before COVID, you were never allowed to question public school teachers or nurses. I'm sorry, the real heroes, the true heroes. So thank you, Dr. Fauci, for empowering and putting on display for the world to see the true heroes, TikTok nurses. At the time, they were trying to convince us that all the hospitals were overrun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were too busy.
I'm a savage. Classic, bougie, ratchet. Sassy, moody. Coronavirus!
What the fuck?
For those of you who don't remember, you were banned if you questioned these people.
By the way, in most scenarios, all these people bang, just so you know. They're not that different from most low-class workers like myself.
Corpse?
It's supposed to be COVID-19, I think, in general.
Yeah, they're...
It looks like a
they're
corpse.
Not very creative people, as well as being stupid.
Yes.
And unheroic.
That looked like it was supposed to be a corpse.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me too.
Probably so.
They looked awful happy with that
Who were like,
corpse.
if you don't take the vaccine, I hope you die, and I won't feel bad about it at all. I hit a nurse. You guys know this during COVID because she reached at my blood oxygen levels were incredibly low, and I had a doctor's note because I'd had major surgery, and my mask was below my chin. And she.
I know, right? Welcome, Angie. Sorry it took me so long.
You need I couldn't breathe. I go show her that, and I actually had a picture of the MRI of the bars in my chest where it was impeding breathing. She goes, I don't care. You have to wear. And she grabbed it and smeared it up my face, like where it actually hit my nose. And so I just went like this, like her hand away, and the whole room went quiet.
Yes.
You're like, uh-oh, that was assault.
What she did to you? Yes, it was.
And say, I hope there's a bed here for you tonight because we're full up, huh, Mister? You don't believe? And then when I went up, there was a nice nurse, Ramona, who was older. She said, "Oh, that bitch, we've been empty for 2 weeks."
Wow. Yeah, I wonder how that nurse votes.
Yeah, exactly. I know how Ramona votes. She actually opened the curtain. She goes, "That bitch." She goes, "We look full to you." Open it like that. There's not a soul. So it was all
quick to abandon her patients for us.
Yeah, it was all performative.
Yeah. And this is why back then, again, the true heroes, you couldn't question them. We drew a comparison. A lot of people missed the context, got offended, but I stand by the sketch.
Yeah, and my sister worked in a nursing home for most of the early parts of COVID. Okay. Death rates, not that much higher than most other years she worked there, and she's worked for nursing homes her entire life.
Heroes? Well, I'm glad the 9/11 heroes didn't act that way.
Oh God! Please tell me. Please have people doing stupid dances.
It'll be all right. We have help on the way. Where are you?
I think I'm okay. I just want to get out of here, you know?
Okay, well, is anything broken?
My leg is stuck, but it's not really like...
No, that's not going to work. I said no journey. No journey. Don't worry about it. We're going to be here. We're staying right here with you, okay? So just listen to the sound of my voice. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Perfect. That'll work.
All right, are you still there? Can you hear me?
I think I kind of sprained it pretty bad, not gonna lie. But I mean, I can move it, so it's like. Wait, what was that? What's up, guys?
Yeah, Spider-Man sitting just under a cool $1 billion for its opening weekend. Now that does include, what was it, like I think Wednesday and Thursday night screenings. But still, though, man, like almost $1 billion. I mean, they've been doing this, starting a movie on Tuesday, Wednesday shit for since I worked at a movie theater like 20 years ago. So this is nothing really new. Them starting movies out that they want to be bigger than they actually are, or they want them to break records because they know they're going to be huge. They've been doing it forever. So Spidey being almost $1 billion movie in its opening weekend is pretty huge, and I'm going to go watch it again next weekend. Right now, it's up there. I remember a commenter, someone said their father worked there and took the day off, and then 9/11 happened. Yeah, no, I mean, take a day off. I mean, I won't say it's another 9/11, but if you don't take a day off, it could literally kill you.
Apologize for what? Oh, you're still here.
Agreed.
And you're still watching this on YouTube.
Okay, so Bill Maher's been coming around little by little. I've looked up to Bill Maher most of my life. Even when I was young, he was the definition of what liberalism actually was for me. He was a bit snootier than I liked. But a lot of my friends who now think that he's a Nazi, we watched him. We got a lot of our initial baseline political beliefs from Bill Maher. So when I started to move this way, and then I saw him doing things like when he had Ben Affleck and that one guy who's only right about Islam. He's some atheist on, and they were talking about how Islam is the mother of all bad ideas. And then I saw Ben Affleck being baseline Hollywood at the time, and then Bill Maher was still a little bit more on this side of things. I saw the spark of hope. But then I also saw episodes where he laughed at Andrew Breitbart. Was it Andrew Breitbart? No. It was the PragerU guy, I think. Laughing at him when it came to pronouns and such, and gender reassignment surgeries. Something that became a reality just a few short years later. But yeah, I like where he's going. I like where the show's going. I'm really, really glad that at least before he dies, he became one of the guys that I enjoy watching again. I don't agree with him on a lot. I still think he's got horrible TDS. But for the most part, I think he's one of the good ones. He's at least one of the ones that'll hopefully bring the Democratic Party, liberals, back towards liberalism as opposed to straight-up communism.
And finally, new rule, Donald Trump has told 1 trillion lies, but when he says the Democratic Socialists of America
See, case in point.
communist, that's not one of them. And it's not hard to prove it, just by quoting the DSA and their candidates. It gives me no pleasure to have to do this. I'd much rather keep going the good vibes from my summer vacation. I had an awesome one, by the way. I totally got a girlfriend at Bible camp. However, right before we left, Vice President J.D. Vance was on the show, and I told him that if the Democratic Party keeps going in the direction of the DSA, my vote was in play. And all I heard all vacation was,
oh my God, he's a Republican. Oh my God. No. He's just saying that the Democratic Party is fallen. And he's about to tell you why.
oh my God, you're a Republican now. No, that's not what I said. I said in play. And here's why. Because not a week goes by where I don't read about some newly chosen, exciting new face in the Democratic Party. And then when that
we've seen a bunch of these retards, haven't we?
Communist Manifesto or some other crazy shit comes out. Again, let's just read the quotes. The DSA platform says you work as much as you are able and no more than needed. If that was any closer to Karl Marx's dictum, from each according to his abilities to each according to his needs, they'd be sued for plagiarism.
Well, and the really funny thing about most communists is that it's usually people who basically live their lives as starving artists. And they're like, man, if only I could get a steady paycheck and still do this, that'd be great. So they look to communism. But what they don't recognize is that most of the time, when these fuckers get into any kind of power, the first people they kill are the useless people, which honestly is the artist. Because in a communist utopia, the only people not contributing to actual society is the people who are only drawing, doodling, writing songs, writing poetry, so on and so forth. We need people to work in warehouses. We need people to work in grocery stores. We need people to be doctors and all these other things. Artists are nice. They're not necessarily useful to a functional society, especially if everyone thinks that they're an artist. Anyway, hold on. I haven't seen the whole movie, but I really hope they give Peter a new love interest. I think it's time for... Okay, I won't give any spoilers. I will say I'm going to be watching... the Critical Drinker thing, which gives some spoilers. That'll be at the end if we get to it at all. But no, I'm also hoping for Black Cat, and I'm also hoping for the symbiote. I hope he gets the symbiote. We'll get to it when we get to Spider-Man. Sorry.
Not to leave any doubt, New York Mayor Mondani once tweeted Karl Marx's words exactly. They're not trying to hide it. Their most popular influencer, Hassan Piker, thinks communism is so groovy. He laments the fall of the two of the most murderous regimes in history, the Soviet Union and Chairman Mao's China.
Yes.
Mondani's aide, his top aide.
And a lot of people will be like, oh, well, a lot of people that the Soviets killed were Nazis. No. I mean, they did kill a lot of Nazis, but no. They even taken out the amount of Nazis that they killed. They also killed mostly their own people. And pretty much anyone in Eastern Europe. Mostly. Anyway.
Sia Weaver said if you don't believe in the government's sacred right to seize property, it's over. And impoverish the white middle class.
By the way, this is someone who was almost most certainly raised upper middle class or just straight up upper class, by the way. She doesn't care about the middle class because honestly, it's just it's a step for lower class people who she thinks are icky to get to where she's at. That's why most people want to dissolve the middle class, especially rich people. They want to dissolve the middle class so that us, the poor, can't ever attain anything for ourselves. That's what these people over here want.
What? That's a goal? You know you're supposed to scare
Jason
people
Todd's the
into voting
definition of
for
getting
you,
shit
right?
done.
One of the new soon-to-be Democratic Congresspeople, Darlisia Chevalier, supports seizing all properties from landlords and said seize the means of production. Mandami has said the end goal is seizing the means of production. I think they want to seize the means of production. Now, maybe you missed that in school or missed school altogether, but that's communism. That's communism, which we tried, and it doesn't work. Parties can change sometimes, you know. You have to keep up.
I actually
Who
can't
freed
find
the
it.
slaves?
White people.
Republicans, Lincoln. Democrats were the racist party back then, but then JFK got elected and it switched.
That's not true. The Democrats have always been the racist party. Yeah, you can't just switch. Most of the Democrats remain racist to this day. I mean, after all, makes it easier to point out things that are racist if it's something that you genuinely feel and see in your heart. Continuing.
The DSA itself has switched, even 5 years ago. It shunned communists. That changed. Things change. Now
It
the
didn't.
coalition within the DSA, called the Marxist Unity Group, is in ascendance, and I must take them at their word.
Oh, it's got a
When
little
their
Rose
words
Day.
include, our commitment is to the long-term struggle for a fully liberated, classless society, in a word, communism. What do they have to do? Tweet out, elect more communists?
By the way, most communists aren't classy, therefore classless. I'm going to go over here.
Oh, yeah, Sia Weaver did that. Yes. Good, I'm glad you're shocked. People got to realize this is going on. Yes, my vote is in play. I'm not voting.
I mean, imagine someone who looks like this telling you that, yeah, I think she looks like a woman, about someone who's not a woman, about a trans woman, because they look like this. And it's almost like looking in a mirror. Anyway, sorry. That's horrible. That's mean. I know.
The wrong side won the Cold War or cheers for the Intifada like it's the World Cup. It's so ironic from the people who obsess about colonization. You know what's being colonized now? The Democratic Party.
The West, by the most imperial colonizer religion of all, Islam.
Last month, 2 Democratic congressmen released an open pledge they wanted their fellow Democratic members to sign. It said, "We are capitalist, not socialist. We want safety, not lawlessness. We are proud, not ashamed of America." These should not be hard words for a congressional Democrat to sign on to. You know how many did?
Was it 8? Yeah.
8 out of 212. Guys, really, there's got to...
And for those of you that remember when this happened, now they have a list of 10 Democrats that they want out. because all the rest of them are either compromised in one shape or another. They are either democratic socialist, straight up communist, or people who were too cowardly to say otherwise. So look at these people. You may not like their politics, but at least they're actual Democrats.
That'd be an easier way to lose the swing states. And no, this nonsense is not where most Democratic politicians are right now, but
it's getting there.
It's also becoming a raging fire festival in the party that neither is anyone putting out. People are actually getting elected now who literally don't think we should have police or prisons or borders. And again, they're not lying about who they are. The media is.
Or Supreme Court or a president.
About the border, she says, yes, literally abolish the border. You know, if you call a woman a whore and everyone gasps, and then the woman says, oh, no, he's right, I'm literally a prostitute. Believe her.
Yeah.
This crowd literally wants to get rid of our form of government, the Senate, but also, and I quote, replace the president and Supreme Court with an executive and judiciary chosen by and subordinate to Congress. Yeah, no biggie.
Yeah, make the president someone who's Congress's bitch. They basically want the president to be like mayors in small towns where the city council actually dominates and controls the cities or townships. And the mayor's more of a political figure, more of a rah-rah, sis-boom-bah, cheerleader type.
Just taking the very essence of our government, which is 3 branches checking each other and shit-canning 2.5 of them. Who could be this nuts? I'll tell you who. Morons who are still wearing COVID masks in 2026.
This is pretty based Bill Maher here.
This photo is from the
I got to be careful about pausing more often because HBO will get me. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do this.
PSA meeting in Denver 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to say it. Since the far left, the far, far left, is overwhelmingly made up of affluent, ultra-woke white people, you raised your kids wrong.
Yes. Yes, based. You didn't raise them at all. You set them in front of a tablet or a TV.
Told your precious brats that every brain fart was genius, and now
it is. Oh my God! Look at the way he puked on the floor instead of anywhere else. Oh my God! It looks like an angel. It's the shape of the Mother Mary itself.
Those brain farts are becoming Democratic Party policy.
That's not far from the truth. Applause break.
Francesca Hong, yet another major Democratic
Who's that?
candidate who's
Oh yeah, that bitch.
On abolishing the police, and is running for governor of Wisconsin, says, I think that my perfect world would be a world without prisons, because we all see the humanity in one another, and then we know nobody's disposable.
That's insane.
Victims are.
Yeah. And this is the thing. You'll see regular people saying this, but at the same time, these same people who say that they want no police will say that they want conservatives put in camps. These are actual people. These are actual politicians. These are actual affluent people like Diddy Piker.
I mean, if you heard this,
they'll be like, oh, I was joking. I was totally joking. I was joking. I don't want to kill you. Yet.
Coming out of the mouth of a teenage beauty queen, it would be an eye roll.
Yeah. I just think people don't have, it's places such as South Africa, such as they don't have maps.
No wonder that the most true blue Democrat ever, James Carville, says, there's just some shit I can't be in the same tent with.
I agree. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, Carville said, I'm done. I'm not in that fucking political party. Now, Gavin Newsom disagrees. He says he's good with it because the party is a big tent. Well, you know what else you find in a tent? Clowns.
Agreed. Also, a lot of the same haircut. Have you noticed that they have the same haircut? Pepperidge Farm knows.
It's so funny. So many liberals shit themselves every time Trump puts gold on something in the Oval Office.
It is gaudy.
It's historic.
I will say.
And the separation of powers isn't? Get your head out of your ass. I would vote for Sarah Palin before this shit.
Agreed. And literally, she was one of the dumbest human beings alive. Okay, Republicans can't tell me otherwise. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Most people who said they wanted to vote for McCain, because for me, I was on the fence because they were both spouting pretty much the same shit, Obama and McCain. And then I didn't know enough about Biden to hate him until the second election. But then I saw Palin, and she's just like, oh, yeah, there, then, now, then, yet. Like, she sounded like the mom from Bobby's World, a cartoon in the 90s with Howie Mandel. It was actually really good.
She's a bimbo, but if you asked her to come up with something she likes about America, she could do it. You betcha.
All right.
Has blown the chart.
What?
Candace
Okay.
Owens.
So you know how I love to shit on Candace Owens. It's not hard. But yeah, this is genuinely hilarious. And again, I'm former military. I wasn't any kind of special forces type, but I know enough to know that she has no idea what the fuck she's talking about.
Has blown the Charlie Kirk case wide open. We don't know anything. We don't know everything. Freudian slip. She doesn't know everything. But she does know that for sure Tyler Robinson didn't do it. He's innocent. Remember I told you that was always the goal, either mistrial or to get this guy off? Okay, so this is what she posted. Today's episode will be positively explosive. Might even free a young man who's being wrongfully framed for the murder of Charlie Kirk. He is being wrongfully framed for the murder of Charlie Kirk, she says. She'll try and tell you,
He's not.
I said might even free a young man who is not maybe, who is being wrongly framed for the murder of Charlie Kirk.
He's
Tyler
not.
Robinson is innocent, according to Candace Owens. We'll see if it stands up to scrutiny. Note the people who sold you Fed slop, that right there, that's poisoning the well. They're going to have a terrible, 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 terrible week. Want to bet? Here is the evidence, and then we have a new segment, Stupid in 2 minutes or less. Let's just watch hers in its
Which
entirety.
sounds
so we
like
don't
an
take it out.
awesome segment. I just got to say.
A military call on a rooftop would be very relevant, right?
Sure.
Told you that's
Not
back
really.
even when I first had that conversation with my source. I said, yeah, that's what I saw. I thought, well, they obviously can't keep that from the public. They can't just keep gaslighting the public about that information.
Why not? You do.
Well, we have certainly something to show you. Now, what happens next
That shows
is
Tyler Robinson's innocent.
exactly as my source stipulated. Our rooftop guy begins a tactical crawl. It's actually known in the
tactical
military
crawl.
as a lateral crawl. Let's
Oh.
watch that.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
There he goes. And I actually do want to show you.
Like, hold on. Like this is stupid.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
There he goes. And I actually do want to show you side by side so you can actually see a real military man do that alongside this person on the rooftop. Let's bring in that side by side clip. Here we go.
What uniform is this?
Which military wears that uniform?
Right there
Is that a real
known
military? I don't know.
as a lateral crawl. But we're just going to show you that so that it's clear.
Seen babies do it too.
about
Oh, look, that's a real. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, the babies absolutely do this. They do. Because they don't want to put their toy down, but they can't stand up and walk. So this is something that babies do. This is something that you could do in this kind of situation, but it's literally just the most effective way to get down in a crouching type position and hold your weapon in one hand. There's no word for this. The only tactical crawl that I've ever heard of, and I don't even remember if it's called a tactical crawl, is where you're the one where you're going under barbed wire in basic training with your rifle. That's basically it. There's the front and the back crawl.
Military crawling. Here we go. There, and we're running that back and forth there.
Okay, we're going to do a fact check after, but it's fun.
Signaling the bees. It says, Charlene, will you marry me?
You now have that.
She's
so
signaled.
let's
He's
watch
signaling?
and see if we, with our eyes, can observe.
Speaking of which, don't mention eyes when yours are as wacky as this. Just please, for me.
Sort of a kickback.
All right.
And again, I have
Jesus
to apologize.
Christ. Jesus Christ.
This is not like Benny Johnson 4K footage, but it's at least clear enough here on your screen that you would be able to discern a strong kickback on a gun.
What's a kickback?
From somebody
That
who's
means
just
like being
laying
paid
down,
by a
taking
foreign nation.
shot. Let's see here.
All 18 pixels.
10 more seconds here.
That looked
okay, he is
like
up.
a slight kick, if that's what you mean, in his leg at one point, which would be the very mild
Anybody?
recoil in a prone position, taking the shot.
It still kills me that he's gone.
Anybody see a recoil?
Oh, she meant recoil.
Oh, recoil. Yeah.
See
Yes,
him.
I did. It's
If
very
you're
slight, but
looking
yeah.
through a scope, as he allegedly
Look.
was. I even expect a black.
And oh my God, hold on. You got to hear that. These guns don't have that much of a kickback, as she said. They don't have much kick to them. They don't have that much of a recoil. Anyone who has ever shot knows that your shoulder absorbs most of it. And if you're at all experienced, as Tyler Robinson was, there's images and video of him out shooting, practicing shooting. Maybe,
Yes, I did. It's very
If you're
slight,
looking
but yeah.
through a scope, as he allegedly was. You might even expect a black eye.
What?
No.
Why? Did a bird punch him in the face? What?
It's absolutely retarded.
30-06 in the pro position. She's acting like it's Samus Aran's plasma cannon. Like, okay, this brings us to stupid in 2 minutes or less, or it's free.
The only way that would ever happen is if, one, you're way too close to your scope, and also you let go of the gun with both hands the second you pull the trigger. That's the only thing I can imagine giving yourself a black eye from the scope. This is the kind of woman who's just like trying to get you to be friends with her friends' husbands. And you're just like, he likes baseball just like you. And he doesn't even like baseball. He likes basketball, but she doesn't know the difference.
Okay, now I will. Let me preface this. All the references are available. Links in the description. It's really hard because when there are no concrete claims made, or very few, it's kind of hard to refute them. But let's go through them. Toolman, 2 minutes or less. Start the timer. All right. Claim. First one, that this evidence was withheld from the court. Truth. Actually, the defense demanded it be withheld, not the prosecution. The prosecution wanted this all publicly available because they find it very damning for Tyler Robinson. The defense said, don't release it, and the judge ordered that to be the case. Claim. The video depicts an advanced tactical military crawl. Truth. Former Army Ranger Josh?
No.
Okay. Claim. The man on the roof is military signaling. Truth. Former Army Ranger Josh.
What would he be signaling?
Yeah, so it's too blurry to see.
What is it, like a flanking maneuver? No.
Okay, it's too blurry to see the kickback, but not blurry enough to see, like, look at me. Claim. That person doesn't even look like Tyler Robinson. Truth. The person doesn't look like anybody for the same reason Mario Land on your Game Boy doesn't look like anybody. However, there's a plethora of publicly available footage, pictures and images showing Robinson on site with his parents, even confirming, but I'm sure that, of course, that's also the feds as well. Claim. You never see a person
Yes, his father
pull
was
out
a Fed.
gun. Truth. I guess it's not in this footage, but it looks like he's crawling with something in his hand. Sorry, tactically, militarily. Claim. There was no recoil. Truth. I saw some. Gerald saw it. I think you saw it. Recoil from a 30-06 is pretty moderate, especially in the prone position. The idea that it would cause a black eye.
And you have to understand, the lower you are to the ground, the more points of contact you have with the ground, the more stable and the more your body absorbs the impact. If you're standing, especially if you stand as awkwardly as you have to get any kind of real aim, especially if you're not as familiar with a weapon, then yeah, you'll see some noticeable kickback. You might even see your body go back. If you're in a kneeling position, yes, you'll see a little bit less, but it'll still be observable, even through a camera like this. But in the prone position, where you have, like, pretty much your whole body is in contact with the ground, except for your hands, your shoulders, and your head. Like, everything else is on the ground, as far as the front of you is concerned. And it's probably the most stable your body can be, especially if you know what you're doing, which I assume he has, because he's been to a gun range ever. And an outdoor gun range at that. So, again, this just goes to show you, like me, I've shot a lot. I was a pretty good shot when I was in the military. But no, this is Looney Tunes. Like, Candace Owens not only doesn't know what she's talking about, but have you noticed that especially the more popular she gets and the more money she gets, the more retarded her claims get? Like, it's stark.
You'd have to be retarded. Another truth. The medical examiner report, which of course is not real, it's all fed slop, confirmed that he died from a gunshot wound to the neck. There you go. That's it. We don't even need any more.
There, not a microphone.
2 minutes on the timer. Check out the references because there aren't many claims. It's so silly.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
It feels silly to argue this. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like an old comedian. The comedian once said, "I'm not smart enough to be dumb enough for this."
Right.
That's how I feel. Like, well, let me show you. Let me show you
in your hand, like that.
Yeah,
you wouldn't want to break or spill.
Let's do like the admonish.
Okay.
The admonish.
And now just crawl.
Do it, Josh.
without touching the ground with that admonisher. Okay.
This is your expert.
Do it.
Okay.
Just do it.
Military maneuver. Here we go.
Keep it off the ground. Try and keep it off the ground.
Jesus Christ.
What am I doing?
Okay, now, Josh, signal me like the military. All right, this has been stupid in 2 minutes or less.
I love how she kind of looks like E.T. when they changed her face for that.
Signal.
This stuff is always so. This stuff is always so funny to me because it'll be like advanced military tactic. In the military, it's referred to as the lateral crawl. Oh, okay, so you know what that's called. So now it has validity. Now it's something. Now you're Sean Ryan. Great, dude.
Right.
You're an expert
You look like
in the
Sean Ryan there.
Thank you very
He
much.
just said, so
come
that's
on,
what
don't
they
call him
say,
fat.
man.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I do regret my time there on the floor. So
Yeah.
That didn't make sense. Dude, it's always so funny when people say this stuff like advanced military. Dude, there's so many things in the military that we do that it's like that's not I could give you a weekly class on advanced military techniques. Class 1, how to tie a square knot.
Yeah.
Josh,
it's an actual class I had to pass at Ranger School. You had to tie like 5 or 6 knots.
And you know what's really funny? If you spent your entire childhood in Cub Scouts and Eagle Scouts, then I'm pretty sure that you get to join the military as an E3. As a private first class. I'm pretty sure they consider it the same as like an ROTC class in high school. If you spend all 3 or 4 years, whatever your high school is, in ROTC, or at least, then you get to enter as a E2 or E3, which is still a private, but it's a lot more pay. Well, you don't get paid a lot, but it's more. It's quite noticeably more.
One of them being freaking square knot. Left over right, right over left. Now you have it.
That would have come in handy for me to tie a knot to hang myself with after watching this crap.
It's a good mil-spec crawl, Josh. It's mil-spec.
Oh, by the way, you know what mil-spec means, to be clear, when people go, this is mil-spec. Mil-spec means the minimum requirement of specifications for it to be usable in the military. That
This is true.
Baseline minimum for reliability.
Now, that's not to say that Special Forces, Green Berets, the whole bit, don't get very good stuff, or at least better stuff than normie military people. But mil-spec just means functional. basically. Military grade weapons. Oh, you mean slightly shittier than most private owners have? Honestly, if we're being real about this, and considerably more expensive.
You can buy plenty of firearms that are way, way above mil spec, to be clear.
Yeah, if you're buying like the same weapons that, well, I guess not all military. There's special operations weapons that are really good, but
Yeah.
not everything. If someone says, "Oh yeah, this is military quality," I'm like, "Oh, so how many times did it break then?"
Yeah.
Well, like special forces, I think it was like the SEALs when we used the Benelli, the M4 shotgun.
I know
it
there
doesn't need to
was-
say mil spec because they
Yeah.
just say used by the Navy SEALs. It's like, well, I guess we know it's SEAL spec.
Like I know there was a bunch of special ops units and some Rangers guys that were carrying scars for a while there while I was in there. But most people are carrying that standard M4. Some people are even carrying an M16 still. It's like when I was in the military in like 2010, 11, there was Marines that we met up on objectives in Kandahar. They were carrying M16s.
Yeah.
I was like, this is crazy. You guys are getting screwed by the Navy. You guys need actual guns.
Yeah, the Canadians.
No,
they're
100%.
like, we got our M1 Garands, eh? Yeah. All right.
Canadians had better guns than the Marines. I felt so bad for them.
Really?
Dude.
No, it is 100%
Also,
true.
for a long period of time, they could drink beer while they were there. Like they were allowed, but Americans weren't allowed. Anyway, you guys. Let me
Yeah,
know.
we're not allowed to drink
Military
anywhere.
Crawl, signaling somebody, no kick. Clearly would have 30-06. Just to be clear, 30-06 in the prone position. That is, I mean, it's a powerful enough round, of course, but people acting like it's a bazooka. This is
They do.
This
They
is a
act like
very,
it's a
very
bazooka.
common round. And again, if you were in the prone position with a rest, the recoil would be very, very minimal.
It's pretty comparable to a 7.62, right?
I mean, I guess some people would say like 308, 30-06. I mean, it's stronger as far as the actual like muzzle energy
Stronger.
because it's a heavier, it's a heavier bullet than what people. But still, it's like it is a very, very commonly used round.
Also, the way she says it is funny too, because she says something. I don't know the exact language, but something like, from a guy, no kickback, from a guy who's laying on the ground.
But what?
Oh, you mean in the most secure
But hold on a
firing position possible?
I just realized that we didn't include this in the 2 minutes or less. Military. Okay, let me ask you this: when you learn to fire your rifle, just not even Army Ranger, military, right? They
Sure.
they probably teach you how to fire from the prone position.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. First, it's
So
like
if you were in the
do most of
military,
your
you would
shooting
learn prone shooting, right?
Yeah, that makes
and
it.
you would learn in the military how to shoot and not have an optic hit your eye. So unbelievably hyper specialized tactical military crawling. But why was there no recoil through the body? I don't know. Maybe because he's military, and that's the first thing they teach you in basic training, and you'd see none of it.
Can I rewind a little bit there? They don't actually. I don't think anybody ever taught me how to not get the scope to hit my eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they assume you're not retarded.
I don't think that was even a lesson. It's like a thing. Well, if it happens, we're all gonna laugh, and then we'll correct them.
Actually, could someone just bring up basic military?
No, I had one dipshit who had to be told. It was either in basic or AIT. I can't recall. But yes, they got their eye way too close. I don't know. I don't even think it was. No, now that I'm thinking about it, it might have been. It was either FTX in AIT, or it might have even been my first duty station, to be honest. But it was someone very stupid who should have known better, who had to be told by one of the what do they call the NCOs in charge of cadre? One of the cadre.
To someone shooting from the prone position, we can bring that up later. Like someone in the military shooting from especially someone be hyper specialized with the lateral crawl. Yeah, that's about exactly what you would expect.
Yes, and that pixelated image that we saw, you didn't see his shoulder go back. I'm like, yes, but I was looking at his legs.
Yeah.
Look at his legs right before he gets up, you silly, silly person.
Maybe on
move there's not going to be a ton of recoil.
No.
Yeah.
And it's like from 500 meters away from a camera. It's all blurry.
Everyone
It's-
shut up. Tyler Robinson is innocent. We don't want
All
a
right.
railroad.
All right,
an
my
innocent.
bad.
Why do you guys want another Emmett Till? Oh, you're still here.
Yeah, why do you want a white
Watching
Emmett Till?
this On
All right.
YouTube, there's no
Anyway,
wall.
so there will be spoilers coming up. Nothing too heavy, but we can talk more about this. What do you think of my grim dark story? I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. Not gonna lie, I was pretty wasted when I read it, so I need to read it again sober. But I thought it was really good. Definitely better than anything that I've written in quite a while. And honestly, I need to get to writing some more.
Never has a franchise needed a movie to succeed quite as badly as Marvel right now. After years of brand dilution and box office failures that all culminated in the unholy trilogy of disappointment.
Okay, for those of you that don't know, Spider-Man Brand New Day, I thought it was coming out next week. I was hoping it was coming out next week because I had planned to see it next week. You deleted it. Why? It was good. But that's fine. I'll just let me know when you put the next one up and I'll read it. And I'll make sure I'm sober when I read this one.
Last year, the modern MCU is the movie equivalent of an aging pop star desperately trying to reinvent themselves before middle age makes them completely irrelevant. And they're not the only ones in trouble. With James Gunn's DCU by James Gunn rapidly turning into
James Gunn by James Gunn.
Disaster, the viability
By the way, Spider-Man Brand New Day has now officially made more money than James Gunn's DCU by James Gunn.
of superhero movies themselves is now looking pretty shaky. In short, Spider-Man Brand New Day needs to succeed. It needs to set the stage for Avengers Doomsday later in the year. It needs to prove that Marvel can move past the malaise that's gripped them since Endgame, and it needs to prove that there's still an appetite for superhero flicks. So with all that being said, what's it actually like? Does it succeed in its aims? Does it live up to the crazy expectations resting on it? And most importantly of all, is it worth your time and money? Well... oh, go on then. Since I'm feeling generous, I'll give Brand New Day a thumbs up. I mean, it's a slightly reluctant thumbs up for sure, and it comes with a few caveats, namely the bloated cast, some questionable choices
I agree.
the protagonist, and
Agreed.
a plot that takes a bit too long to get moving and
Agreed.
undercuts some of the stakes of the previous film.
And all these things are true. That being said, I still put it ahead of every single MCU Spider-Man movie. Hands down.
But for the most part, it's a pretty fun movie that kept me mostly entertained for a couple of hours. Now, I'm going to give you a rundown of the plot, and it's kind of difficult to discuss without getting into a few spoilers, so if you really don't want to know anything about Brand New Day, consider yourselves warned. Anyway, so the movie picks up with a very lonely Peter still pining for MJ and Ned after they forgot about his existence at the end of the last movie. He still keeps tabs on them as they move on with their lives over the next few years, while throwing himself into crime fighting as Spider-Man and becoming a hero in New York City. Shit gets real though when a new threat emerges that can psychically possess anyone in the vicinity and uses them to attack a government facility called Damage Control. But what are they really looking for? And why is Peter the only one who can resist them? Looking for answers, he makes contact with Yelena. Oh yeah, they're still trying to make her a thing in this movie. Who points him towards suspiciously nice government guy who claims to have no idea why the psychic terrorist is attacking Damage Control. I wonder if he might be hiding something here. Anyway, with a bit of help from Bruce Banner, Peter develops an inhibitor unit that can suppress the psychic powers. All he needs to do is find the terrorist and stick it on her neck and she'll be helpless. Unfortunately, she gets wind of this and possesses Bruce, turns him into the Hulk and uses him to beat the shit out of Peter while she raids Damage Control in person. See, it turns out the terrorist in question is in fact Jean Grey, in possibly the worst kept secret in entertainment.
Yes. And that's one of the problems that I have with the movies. There are plenty of exactly. I know, and that's one of my big problems with the movie. Is four things, and Drinker might touch on these. One, I wish it was more just Spider-Man's movie. Okay, there are plenty of telepaths, especially villainous telepaths in the MCU. Even if you don't use a Spider-Man villain, there are still plenty of villainous ones. You can even use mutant telepaths. Considering how this movie, full-on spoilers, she's a villain. Like, she's a straight-up villain in this. And there's no repercussions, is my biggest complaint. That's about as much as I can go without saying what she actually does, what actually happens. But she is the villain of this movie. her and another organization, but there are no actual Spider-Man villains in this movie except for Scorpion, and that's my biggest complaint. I've always wanted, well, okay, except for Scorpion, and then of course you had like what's his name, the Arachnid, and a couple others just for the little Hot Wheels. First we missed the opportunity of Holland versus Hardy. Now this, there still might be hope for that. I've heard some rumors. I don't know if any of them are true, considering how many variants of this movie have existed since they started production. But my biggest things are, it doesn't really feel like just Spider-Man's movie, just because Yelena's in this for no reason, and you could pretty much cut her whole thing out and just have him finding out what he finds from her by himself. And that's I'm trying to be as vague as possible without giving anything too much away, because it is genuinely, I really did like this movie. This is the best fighting, like the best Spider-Man type fighting, especially that I've ever seen. And a lot of people are comparing this to the Insomniac games, and that's a fair comparison. I've only played really the first one and some of Miles Morales. I didn't care for the second one just because there was too much around it, and I didn't hear anything good enough to make me want to throw down this, what's $70 for that game? So no, thank you. I really wish, I will say, when I found out that Ned and Mary Jane were in this movie, I was like, oh God, really? And while they eat up too much time in the movie for them to just kind of be in the same position at the end, I thought what they did with them was pretty good, especially Ned. I love Ned. Ned's a national treasure. I don't care what anyone says. I know he's not the right race. I know he's very body positive, we'll say. But he's really good. I really like the actor. His chemistry with Tom Holland is really good in all the movies. Ned's a national treasure. Ned is the friend that everyone wanted in school. I had a friend a lot like Ned when I was in school. Especially God on the Infinity War movie where he's like, hey, I need you to cause a diversion. He's like, oh my God, we're all gonna die. So he could jump off the bus. I thought that was great. But yeah, they really shouldn't have been in this movie. But again, I'll never complain about more Ned time. But again, it needed an actual Spider-Man villain. I really want either Felicia Hardy, Black Cat, or Gwen Stacy. I know we've already seen Gwen Stacy, or the real Mary Jane or something, but I think doing the real Mary Jane after MJ, quote unquote, would be a wrong step and would piss a lot of people off. The wrong kind of people, sure, but people nonetheless. When you don't really have to do that. You can just pull up Felicia Hardy, preferably by someone like Sydney Sweeney, or someone who can actually act. But I think body type, she would be really good. Personality type, I don't know. Me personally, I always wanted to see like a Reese Witherspoon back in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man days. I know they picked Anne Hathaway for a movie that was never made. That was also a really good choice, as we saw with Catwoman later on. But no, that's my basic complaints. I've always wanted... I thought the sizzle reel in this was really good with all the bad guys and the comic book covers and shit. What we had with Scorpion was good, but more Michael Mondo is never a bad thing. That guy is just like... God, just like... Michael Jai White. Michael Mondo is probably one of the most criminally underused actors working ever. It's kind of sad. But anyway, continuing.
And she's out to find her sister Sarah, who was taken captive and
oh yeah,
on by...
but anyway, straight up villain. What I've always wanted in a Spider-Man movie is one, actual Spider-Man villains. have him just catch one in the beginning, not necessarily a heavy hitter, just someone robbing a bank, an armored car, something, Rhino, Scorpion, help. Chameleon is more of a henchman to the main baddie type, but that would be cool too. And then have maybe Shocker and Chameleon working for the main bad guy, and then have someone a little higher up being the main bad guy. And then having be like a siren goes off, and you see like the Rhino or someone running by, and then Spider-Man's like, here we go again. And then he just zips off into the camera, and that's the end. But an X-Man as the bad guy for what is tuning him to be the biggest Spider-Man movie of all time. That's definitely hard. I think Sadie Sink did okay for what they had for her. She did pretty good. But she's pretty much just Max. This is going to be one of those actors and actresses who are pretty much just themselves in a movie. And it's a damn shame because I think, whatever, she's all right looking. She may have some actual chops. Like, people have come and, they've been one note. Like Heath Ledger was very one note. Let's face it. He was very one note until probably about a year before he died, and then he came out with The Dark Knight and Dr. Parnassus and the Imaginarium. And yeah, exactly. I thought she was going to be the actual Mary Jane, certainly better than the two Mary Janes. Well, one Mary Jane we did get and one we almost got. In that girl from Deception. Not Deception. What's that one that's like the Hunger Games for people who aren't that smart? Who are even dumber? That one. The one that's somewhere between the Hunger Games and Maze Runner. No, it's actually beneath both of those. But that one, the main girl from that was supposed to be Mary Jane in the Andrew Garfield movies, which just show you how low those were going. But Sony's coming around. I think this is a good step in the right direction.
By damage control. But can Peter team up with the Punisher to stop her? Can he find a way to reconcile with MJ and Ned? And even if he can, whose side should he really be on?
And I gotta say, Tom Holland in this is great. The fighting is great. It also helps that most of these are shot in at least, if not in real settings, they're shot on actual sound studios instead of just being surrounded by green screen, like a lot of these movies have been. And I gotta say, the action shots were very good. The chemistry between him and John Bernthal was surprisingly good, which is why I think they did Hot Ones together, whether that was for this or for the Odyssey. But yeah, and this is the best looking spider suit that's ever been in film, ever.
Yes, there's quite a lot going on in Brand New Day, and if I was a cynical man instead of the chirpy, optimistic soul you see before you, I'd say the movie's been asked to do a lot of heavy lifting for Avengers Doomsday, setting up characters and factions that are going to be very important going forwards.
I somewhat agree.
This is the movie that definitively establishes the mutants as we know them from the X-Men, and the persecution and exploitation they're going to face at the hands of regular humans.
And by the way, the women are always saving the men around here. You might want to think about changing the name to X-Women.
And by the way, the scene right before this that she's talking about, I'm pretty sure Quicksilver and Nightcrawler did most of the work, and Jean just kind of got possessed by a cosmic entity. But nice try, person who feels too much of a star to put on your body paint. Fuck off.
Fuck off.
Agreed.
Such a lovely pair of words.
And right here we have Jean Grey as Ground Zero. And I guess she's as good a place as any to start with my criticisms, because for me, she's one of the weaker aspects of the film. Not because of the actress or anything. Sadie Sink isn't exactly an Oscar winner. She doesn't have the gravitas and range that Famke Janssen had back in the 2000s, but holy shit, she's a million times better than Sophie Turner, and she does a pretty decent job here. No, the bigger problem with the character is the writing.
Yes.
She's not portrayed as an anti-hero or a conflicted but fundamentally decent person who occasionally does bad things for good reasons. She's just an out-and-out villain in this movie.
Yeah.
She has absolutely no problem violating and mind-raping dozens, if not hundreds of people. She straight up murders innocent civilians without a care in the world. She tries to kill MJ just to keep Peter busy for a while, and she forcibly possesses half of New York City in the finale. She's written more like Magneto than Jean Grey, and what's weird is that she never really answers for the things she's done. She just kind of
Which I would be completely fine with. Not the not answering for it, but women save men as well. No, exactly. But if it had been any, literally, almost literally any other telepath, I will say that I am glad that she didn't have a use your power moment in this, to where she accessed the Phoenix Force that isn't part of her by birth or genetic defect or whatever. Like they've done it in both movies. They had the same guy do it in both movies. Why? Why? And Sophie Turner doesn't have the range.
leaves, and I get the impression the film itself doesn't really view her as bad or morally wrong. That seems to be a bit of a theme with the MCU.
You've taken an entire town hostage.
I'm not the one with the guns, Director.
Yeah, but the guns are directed at you, the person who took the town hostage.
Holding thousands of people hostage.
And it could have been thousands more.
It could have been more. She could have been even more awful and terrible. She could have possessed us.
And put up her own quarantine.
They'll never know what you sacrificed for them.
Hey!
That was the worst part of this whole show. Like that, and that was probably the best Marvel show at that time. Like for the first 3 or 4 shows. Until the last couple of episodes where they started putting that shit in. I was like, you never know what you sacrifice for them. She made up kids. She gave up her made up imaginary kids. And made up dead imaginary husband.
Fuck off.
I also couldn't help but question her methodology here. I mean, instead of going through all the convoluted bullshit of staging raids on damage control facilities and potentially getting dozens of innocent civilians killed, why not just target suspiciously nice government man when he's alone and vulnerable, mind rape him to find out what happened to your sister, and potentially even use him to infiltrate the facility and get her back? I mean, it would have made the movie about 20 minutes long, but, you know, these are questions that you can't help but ask yourself. As I said earlier, there's also a problem with cast bloat. Yelena's probably the most glaring example.
Yeah, exactly.
She's just there to tell Peter things he could have easily figured out for himself. Their scenes take forever, and they feel...
And I like Florence Pugh in movies well enough. I liked her in Black Widow well enough. I liked how she was more like her sister than she wanted, and then like when she found herself posing like her, she would just kind of shrug it, like... I like that. What I don't like about Florence Pugh is this. Combined with this. Just... why? I mean, albeit she is kind of shaped like a boy, so I understand her. Anyway.
Awkward as fuck. But I'd argue that Ned and MJ are kind of pointless as well.
Yes.
Bringing them back when Peter was forced to say goodbye.
Hey, look, it's Ezra Bridger.
The movie really undercuts the pathos of that film's ending. But if you really have to bring them back, then fucking do something meaningful with them. As it stands, they're kept in a holding pattern for most of the film, and by the end,
it is kind of sad that it is kind of sad that oh fuck, what's this kid's name? Oh, hold on. Fuck, what's the kid that plays Spider-Man's name? Hold on. What's the kid that plays Spider-Man's name? Tom Holland. I got it just before it popped up. It is sad that Tom Holland is forced to watch his girlfriend fuck around with other dudes. His girlfriend in real life fuck around with other dudes in her own movies, let alone in his movie. Like, what are we doing, Tom? Tom, I know she's bigger than you, but fuck.
in basically the same situation he was in at the start. They still don't remember him, and it's obvious he can't get back what he once
X
had.
chromosome.
I mean, there's at least a decent scene where he
See?
confesses the truth to MJ, and she quietly admits that she's not the same person he remembers, and I think it's handled pretty well, but it's not enough to justify their inclusion in this film. There's also a subplot about Peter's spider abilities becoming more dominant and his struggles to contain the power. And yeah, I get how it sort of ties in with Jean's abilities as a mutant, but it feels like a bit of a reach thematically, and the script doesn't seem to know what to do with it. It just kind of stops being an issue when the plot needs it to go away. Now, all of this criticism probably makes it sound like I'm shitting on the film, but it's more because I can see the potential in what it's trying to do on a writing level. There's a lot of interesting ideas at play here.
There
and it
really
doesn't
is.
quite tie them all together properly. On the plus side, the action and fight choreography is all top-notch. The emotional tone is generally pitched right with a bit of humor and optimism at the appropriate moments. It's nice to see Spider-Man tackling lower-level stuff in New York City instead of big world-ending events like he's in a...
And it is good seeing him be actual Spider-Man. He's quippy, he's funny, he's dark and tortured. He's more or less a scientist, as we saw a little bit in the previous movie. We see a little bit of that in this movie. That is one aspect of Spider-Man that we didn't delve into quite enough in any of his movies. I like Tom Holland. I think he loves being... No, he's not Pussy Hulk. He's actual rawr Hulk in this. That's the actual thing. Sorry, in my chat. No, we've had too much Pussy Hulk. In this one, he's full on Rage Hulk. I mean, he's possessed by her, and that's what brings out the Rage Hulk. And then he becomes out. Yeah, he's full ragey mode, and I love it. I've missed it. Hopefully, he's completely burned Mark Ruffalo out of his system. But no, Spider-Man. This is, as far as having Spider-Man in a Spider-Man movie, this is the best portrayal of Spider-Man in a Spider-Man movie. We need a little bit of what made Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man in it. We need a little bit more of his sciency-ness. Okay, we need a little bit more of him kind of juggling both lives. Just a little bit more. Hey, Yanuka. But for the most part, and again, hold on, let me pull up this.
In the Avengers flick, and Tom Holland proves that age is no barrier to playing Peter Parker. Yeah, he's not quite the golly gee whiz teenager he was in Homecoming. He's older now and carrying a few more burdens than before, but he's still got the right combination of responsibility and playfulness, and he genuinely looks like he wants to be there.
He does.
This works pretty well.
And he loves this. But now I will say he did say he wanted to be out by the time he was 30, and Tom Holland is of now. How old's Tom Holland? Yeah, so he's 30, but he's still got 2 more movies to go, which I think is good because I think without this, he doesn't have much of a career behind him. I think he needs to do his next 2 Spider-Man movies. I think the next 2, he's going to get, hopefully he'll get the black suit in Secret Wars, and then we'll have the next Spider-Man movie right after that. And then he'll have the black suit, and then it'll consume him. And I'm hoping that he struggles with it. It starts to take over him. And then at the end of the movie, unless they do all this in Secret Wars and he realizes it by the end of the movie, but I don't think they'll do it. But yeah, at the end of the movie, he needs to strip it off. They need to introduce Eddie Brock. They need to pick someone good for Eddie Brock, not Topher Grace types. And we need to have where the whole scene from the bell tower, the church tower in that movie, where he gets the symbiote suit off of him. It falls on Eddie Brock. Eddie Brock, you see him fully as Venom, and he jumps at the screen. Maybe a post-credit scene. And then the third movie will be him versus Venom. Him trying to, figure out what this is that's chasing him, what it is that's doing Spider-Man type things, but it's not me. I know it's not me. I don't have the suit anymore, so it's not me doing it in my sleep again. I think that would be a good choice. The best way to do Venom. But anyway, so Side Scrollers put this up, and I gotta say, this is how I see it. They wanted us to label these 8 movies and Brand New Day. I threw in the the Spider-Verse movies. Far From Home is easily the worst Spider-Man movie ever. I don't care. This isn't a Spider-Man movie. This is just like I don't know. This felt more like a side episode of TV show more than it felt like Spider-Man. Yeah, I saw Tectone got married. I posted on his thing. I'll show you in a second. But yeah, Far From Home's last. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is second to last. Spider-Man 3, I know I put it this low. I put it under Amazing Spider-Man. And let me tell you for this. These three are pretty interchangeable for me. I don't care. I really don't. I have a hard time watching this one. This one I can maybe watch just because Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, it's cute that they were dating when this was going on, I guess. Homecoming, pretty good. Just happy to see Spider-Man again. A lot of good characters. I hate that Flash Thompson is tiny. But Across the Spider-Verse, this is mostly with asterisk of how much it ties into the third one when it comes out. Was it next year now? Jesus. It was supposed to be the same year, and now it's going to be 4 years later. No Way Home, easily number 5, top 5 Spider-Man movies. The original Spider-Man, this is where it gets controversial. Brand New Day, I put it right there. It just edges it out. Again, like I say here, I'm going to have to see Brand New Day 1, maybe 2 more times to really say this is a good placement for it. Into the Spider-Verse, honestly, these two were kind of interchangeable for me. Just because the Spider-Verse was so well done all the way around. Completely, all the way around. This one is mostly nostalgia. But it's still a very good movie. But that's just the way I see it. As you can see, not a lot of likes on this. But speaking of Tectone, yes, he got married. I'm sure everyone's reaction to this will be completely normal. And me, of course, I say, somewhere in the distance, you can hear Myron Gangs and Sneeko calling him gay, then somehow convincing their audience that sleeping with guys is just boys being boys. I am surprised he didn't have her dressed as a lobster. That would have been pretty funny. Also, just gonna move this down here. So, Sneeko put the face of white supremacy, and I posted this on my X as well. And I said, yeah, but this is the face of white substance in me. White supremacy, white substance in me. Anyway, I thought it was pretty good. And that was so funny and so well received. 100 likes off just 2,000 views. Pretty, better than he's got here, at least as far as percentages goes. But one of his fans said, okay, I'm with Brother Sneeko, but that was funny. And I had a lot of respect for that. So I was just like, appreciate that. No one is above a joke that is just too good not to make. But no, and that train scene from Spider-Man was fucking amazing. But
Well, if John Bernthal was the Punisher, yeah, it's very much a family-friendly version of the character now, and it's kind of wild when I think about the insanely violent shit that Bernthal's done as this guy over the years, but I think they make for a pretty good contrast together. Ultimately, despite a few flaws on the writing side, Brand New Day is a safe, solid kind of movie that gets the job done without the same energy and novelty of Homecoming, or the emotional gut punch of No Way Home, but instead delivers 2 hours of reliable entertainment with everyone's friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And if the box office projections are anything to go by, well, maybe there is still life in the MCU yet. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away
now. Let's see. No Way Home got 804 million by the end of its run. Hold on. Brand New Day. The most recent $927 million. That was a day ago. $18 hours ago. Yeah. Looks like 927. Well, I would, but I got to get off here. I got to get ready for work, unfortunately. But, one, I couldn't find it. But also I'm out of time. But, guys, I hated not doing the show Thursday and Friday. Yeah, I love doing this show every morning. I love hanging out with you guys. It's a lot of fun. But, and again, before too long, I'll probably be working from home. So I'll be able to work on the show a little bit more and probably have the show run maybe another half hour to hour. But wait, really what? Oh, Wade Walker. Well, I typed in what you gave me. I didn't see that it was another Wade Walker thing. Hold on. Jason Todd, Wade Walker. Oh, it's shit with a upside down, or sorry, an exclamation instead of an I. All right, putting that into the bin for tomorrow. But yeah, no, I will do that tomorrow, as well as anything else that happens. If nothing so much happens today, then I'll put a little bit from what I was going to do last week into tomorrow's show. But guys, I appreciate the hell out of you. We'll do the Wade Walker bit and some more things tomorrow.